Hello everyone, welcome to the class. I'm your guide, Jerry. Excuse me, not this Jerry. And also not this Jerry too. I'm the handsome one. Okay, today we are going to talk about transitional justice. Before moving on to today's topic, let's take a little quiz with this QR code on screen. Well, see how much you know about transitional justice. By the way, to check if you are watching the video carefully and how effective your learning is, your quiz result will be sent to our platform to know how well you are doing at the same time. When everyone clicks into this video, your smartphone will also send a screen to us at any time to monitor the use of your smartphone. Know this way to ensure that everyone's learning outcomes. It's a smartphone, isn't it? Just like me. Okay, let's start our class. Let's go! Wait. Don't you feel that there is something wrong here? How can such close supervision and irrationality happen in today's democratic society? We are just kidding, don't worry. However, this is the fear that pervades Taiwan society during the White Terror period. After the end of World War II in 1945, global communism is expanding rapidly. The United States set up the North Atlantic Treaty Organization to prevent the rapid expansion of communist forces, and Taiwan was included in the anti-communist system. Alongside with the defeat of Chinese Civil War in 1949, the Taiwan authorities were more of anti-communist. Anyone who disagrees, protests the government, being too close to communists, or even people who miss their hometown and relatives on the mainland China may be arrested. At that time, there were many hidden whistleblowers, which caused persecution and prison injustice. In order to survive, Taiwanese had no trust to others and interpersonal relationships. Looking back at the large-scale violation of human rights that have taken place in Taiwan society, 228 incident came to our mind in our first stop. There are still many tragedies, such as the Kaohsiung Formosa incident, the state's invasion of the indigenous people, etc. Just like our previous video, there was also a reference to the issue of live nuclear waste. If you want to learn more, please click here. Today, we want to use the Kaohsiung Formosa incident as an example to inform you about the massive human rights abuse of the past. On December 10, 1979, the story began when Taiwan was still under martial law ruled by Jiang Jingguo. Outside party members consist of Formosa magazine staff, held rallies and marches in Kaohsiung to propose to lifting ban on political parties and newspapers, and call for freedom of expression. However, the protest later triggered a violent crackdown by Taiwan authorities. The total number of people involved announced by Taiwan Garrison Command was 156. The Kaohsiung Formosa incident has been commented as the worst police-civilian conflict since 228 in 1947. One of those arrested was Lin Yixiong, a member of Taiwan Provincial Consultative Council, the nation's highest democratic hall. The member of Legislative Yuan had not yet opened up the direct elect. He was the person who represents Taiwan's highest public opinion. However, the authority can still make an arbitrary arrest and judge him by military law, showing how human rights was violated at that time. As time goes by, in the present democratic society, more and more injustice in the past are revealing. Transitional justice has become an imperative word. And so, what is transitional justice? In the beginning, we must understand what transitional justice is. Try to think about it. Do only the defeated country need it? There is saying that Taiwan is a part of the victor of World War II, and that only the conquered country need to make the transitional justice. However, the core of transitional justice is not just about victory or defeat. It focuses on dealing with a past of massive human rights damage. And the specific activity can be divided into the following three steps. First, justice should be given to those who have been subject to political persecution. Confiscated property must be returned. People or their families who have suffered due to persecution must also be compensated and given justice. Secondly, use the law or morality to hold those who have engaged in political persecution in the past, and be accountable for their mistakes. responsibility is also one of the crucial mechanisms of modern democratic supervision. It is also one of the essential mechanisms of current democratic leadership. Thirdly, we need to present the fact and history of previous political oppression in its background to understand the whole picture of the event. The legislature also passed a political archives regulation in 2019 to speed up the release of information about the White Terror period. It is also clear that civil servants, witnesses, whistleblowers, and sources recorded in the political archive should be made public to implement transitional justice and restore the historical truth. Take Fan Yun as an example, who was the White Lady student movement commander. Looked through thousands of pages and found that she was one of the students monitored by the state as a project. As more and more files will become public, she was able to piece together the facts in 1990, how the government inspected her, and provided information to the authorities. If you were a victim, would you like to know what happened in the past? Please leave in your comment at the bottom. Here's the question. If we reveal lost information and documents collected by whistleblowers and government in the past, would it cause a severe confrontation in the society? People often misunderstood that transitional justice is the victim's revenge against the perpetrators. However, we ignore that everyone is affected and become more or less as a victim due to martial law. Because of this, we should break this misunderstanding and pay attention on the spirit of transitional justice. As we said above, transitional justice often touches on politically sensitive issues. Still, its goal is to consolidate democracies while allowing divided societies to be in reconciliation. Like German society after World War II, there is a lot of division and struggle in their history. The German government put Nazi officers on trial for violating human rights. However, these Nazi officers did not go to the prison but were pardoned. The purpose of transitional justice was not for revenge but for reconciliation. The country faced up to its error that will review and reflect to itself, and to prevent the same mistake from being repeated while enhancing nation's cohesion. The progress of democracy is not to forget or to erase the pain of the past. It's about how you remember and how to bring reconciliation through memory when we are looking back. As time goes by, perhaps the crucial information was lost, and even those who had been suppressed for their human rights had passed away. However, more importantly, we must face up to the fact that had happened in the past. According to governmental documentary, more than 8,000 people were imprisoned during the White Terror period, and 1,061 people were executed. We all know that the actual number is much higher than the governmental records, but it has brought us the courage to pursue democratic progress. Not only should we look back on the lesson that history had taught us, but we should also strive to find the historical facts. The conversation of transitional justice and the presentation of historical facts are the driving forces of democratic progress. Instead of ignoring or erasing the pain of the past, we bring reconciliation through memories reconstructed by revealing covered history, and that's what is transitional justice means. Finally, please scan the QR code on the screen to see if you have any new idea about transitional justice. See you next time. Bye bye!